بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم my beloved ones ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, we're going to continue the sessions in Manasik al-Hajj, and today we are going to, yesterday we took the uh, first obligation, entering the state of Ihram. And we saw that Sayyidi Sistani says the intention is different only, but the process is same. Intention, what am I doing? I'm entering the state of Ihram. For what? For Hajj al-Tamattu. That was Umrat al-Tamattu. So here you will take off the Hajj al-Tamattu from the intention. So Umrat al-Tamattu. Okay, why? Because it is part of my Hajj Tamattu. That was the Umrah. Here, no. Here you'll just say, I'm entering the state of Ihram for for Hajj Tamattu.
1 2 kilometers. Duration 15 minutes. Count. Workout paused. Workout ended.
Sorry about that. So, uh, yeah. So we were saying that the intention is different only, number one, and the location of entering the state of Ihram. Before, the location of entering the state of Ihram was what? The miqat outside of Makkah, sorry, the like Juhfa, Masjid al-Shajara, Yalamlam, all the locations which were designated by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the parallel point to that, to the miqat. That was number one. Number two, so intention and the location. So what am I doing? I'm entering the ihram, state of ihram, not libas. Libas is another wajib. So I'm entering the state of ihram. For what? To perform the amal of hajj tamattu. Remove it. I have removed umrat tamattu from the intention. For what? If it's first hajj, you will say hajjat al-islam. For what? Because it's an obligation upon me. So for what? Because I want to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hajj al-Islam or Hajjat al-Islam wujuban qurbatan lillahi ta'ala, to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that was, and then once you say, you lock yourself into ihram and say labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, and that's wajib. Four labbaiks. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Inna alhamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika laka labbaik. That's mustahab. So now we go to we start our journey. We leave Mecca and we arrive to Arafat. Let me show you the border of Arafat. Why it's very important. Obviously, the authorities there, they have defined the borders of Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafat, because when it is wajib for me to stay in Arafat, that means it is wajib for me to make sure that I'm in Arafat and not out of Arafat. Because how can I be out of the border of Arafat and and we saying I am staying in Arafat from noon to, but you are not in Arafat. So what happens, that this is, as you can see in the slide, that there's Wadi Arna, the valley. Now this valley, now the Masjid al-Namira is also, Namira is part of the border. So what happened? The masjid, when they extended, instead of being extended inwards to in Arafat, so that it is in Arafat, they extended backwards, like outwards of the border. You see this area, the Masjid al-Namira here. Masjid al-Namira is on the border. So part of Masjid al-Namira is out of so the Qibla side. See, Makkah is here, all the way Makkah. Okay, Makkah is this side, if you can see in the image. Makkah is all the way on the right hand side. So that means the mihrab, the extended part is the mihrab side. So if let's say you want to go Masjid in Namira, we don't advise people to go to Namira because you get mixed up. You get in that area where you are not supposed to be there. So it can become a bit problematic because then you're not in Arafat and it's Rukun. And we said Rukun, serious issue, essentials of Hajj. So this valley, Wadi Arna, the reason I'm giving you this name because it's written in the Manasik al-Hajj. Okay. So this valley, there's a valley, okay, it's called Wadi Arna. Wadi Arna. Valley. This is a valley. Wadi means valley. And then, so the border goes all the way uh, over part of Masjid al-Namir. So in case if you go there, be in the back side of Masjid al-Namira, not in the front side facing the Qibla. And then this is Jabal Arafat. Uh, and obviously, this is out of the Haram. So that means you don't have the option to pray Qasr and Tamam here. Okay, Qasr namaz, Salat Qasr or Tamam option, that the option is not there because it's out of the Haram. So this was something about the valley of Arafat. Just to show you another image, let me see if I have it. Um, yeah. So you see this water indicates valley. Obviously, not every time water is there. So don't say, oh, we didn't find any water and is it water? But this is like some when it rains, the water fills here. And this is Masjid al-Namira. So it's out of the border of Arafat, the Qibla side. This is the road to Mecca. And so Arafat boundary is very important, and they have these signs on the side. The boards, if I'm not mistaken, the green boards because the yellow, green, and purple or something like that. I forgot the colors. So for Arafat there is a color, for Muzdalifah there is a color, and the for Mina there's a color. So these are the this is the border of Arafat. Mount Jabal Rahma is in the middle. This is aerial view of Jabal Rahma from the top, from the above this one. So you can see that this pillar is just a mark of Mount Rahma. And people are, yeah, for us, it's makruh to go all the way on the top. It's mustahab to be on the skirts of the mountain. So the skirts of the mountain is below of the mountain. This is skirts of the mountain. And this top of the mountain is makruh. Okay. Let me see if I can find the Okay, so I found the image of the boundary of Arafat, uh, because you need to know these boundaries, otherwise you you might get messed up. So this is how the boundary looks like. I don't know whether you can see or not. You see this yellow colors. So it's yellow color, the boundary. This is Arafat starts here. So just make sure that wherever you are in Arafat, you're not behind the boundary. This is a starts here. You are okay if you are underneath. But yes, don't stand just underneath. If it falls, falls on your head. No, just stand a bit this side, but not back side. Okay. So this is one nice image of Arafat, and let's see. Let's go back to our border. Yeah. Um, so Arafat, Mina, Muzdalifah, they have different coloration. So if we come to this area, hey, what happened? Anyhow, so you got the idea. You have Mullah Google. You can further look at the images about Arafat. And the same thing, there's a boundary of Mina and Muzdalifah. Let's
Mm, no.
Okay, now.
Uh,
And now?
yeah, no, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we had a technical problem, so far we are good. Okay, let's see. So let's now you know that there's a border for Arafat and there's a color for the border of Arafat, and for Muzdalifah there's a different color, and Mina there's a different color. So Arafat we have yellow color. So let's see the rulings of the Arafat and so الوقوف بعرفات. And just to let you know where we are reading from the Book of Law of Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah, and this is the ruling number 365. The limits of Arafat is the area of Urna and Thawiyya wa Namira. So Namira is like where Masjid al-Namira. إلى ذي المجاز ومن المأزمين, the valley, إلى أقصى الموقف, all the way at the end. So the as we saw, Arafat, the Wadi al-Ma'zamain, and at the end Arafat. So these are the hudud, and whatever is beyond that, it is out. So these borders, say the Sistan says وهذه حدود عرفات وهي خارجة عن الموقف. So the border of Arafat is out of the mawqif. So don't stand on the border. Stand inside the border. Stay inside the border. Not on the border. Oh, this is Arafat. No. Don't stay on the edge of Arafat. Like when you see the sign, don't stay under the sign. Go a bit inside, as I said. Don't sit just under the yellow sign where if the sign falls on your head. No. If it falls on your head, no, go inside a bit and not outside. So this is the ruling of the border of Arafat. Okay, so the second obligations of Hajj al-Tamattu is staying in Arafat with the intention to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sincerity. And the meaning of wuquf, waqafa means stand. So standing in Arafat, it doesn't mean that you have to stand in Arafat like chicken, which always you see, even the chicken sleeps while standing. Many times you can see chicken is sleeping, but it's standing. So it's not like you have to stand like a chicken in Arafat all the time. And no, standing means here being present in Arafat. So he says, wal murad, the meaning of wuquf, standing, is to be present in Arafat. Al hudur, like hadiri, huzur, haziri, hudur in Arafat. Without any doubt, I mean, regardless of being riding, standing, staying, or moving, be there. So, uh, if you are on a horse or in a car, sitting in the car or standing on the horse, and you made the intention, and all the time you're in the on the horse or in the bus, or that's fine. Or standing, walking, that's fine. Staying there, you have a house there, something like that in that border. Or the sakinan here doesn't mean that house. It means that like not moving, sukun. Sukun here is in opposed to the haraka. So he said you were like walking or in immobile state, like without haraka or mutaharrik. So these are the things in Arafat. So whether you're moving, regardless of moving, not moving, standing, sitting, any state, you are there in Arafat. That the presence in Arafat is obligation. And ruling number 365, the limits, the border of Arafat, we said Arna, Wathawiyya, ونمرة ذي المجاز مأزمين, that valley, إلى أقصى الموقف, all the way at the end. So we have the sides and we have the close to Makkah and farther of Makkah. So all the borders have been mentioned. Therefore, one should not stay on the border. He should stay in Arafat. So what about the Mount Rahma, Mount of Mercy, Jabal al-Rahma? So ruling number 366, he says apparently Mount Rahma is part of the stay in Arafat. So it's a mawqif. It's a mawqif, that means it is a part in which you can stay. However, he says, it is best to stay on the ground around the skirts of the uh, left side of the mountain. Remember, uh, right side, so we have right side is away from Makkah, left side is in front of Arafat, like Makkah, right side, left side, and right side. So the mountain, right, left. This is my right hand. This is my left hand. He says it's best is to stay on the left side of the mountain, like keep the mountain behind and qibla in front. That is if you want to go to the mountain. But so apparently Mount Rahma is mawqif. So if you are on the mountain, you are on the mawqif. It is part of the mawqif. Question number 367. It is required that your stay in Arafat should be out of intention. That means it's an obligation. So you need to have intention in your heart. I mean, you don't have to say it. Okay, in your heart, the intention needs to be there. And that intention is same thing. Why are you staying there? Because it's an obligation, part of the Hajj, Hajj al-Tamattu. So why are you performing Hajj al-Tamattu? Because it is my first Hajj, Hajj al-Islam or Hajj al-Islam. And why are you doing Hajj al-Islam, Hajj al-Islam? To fulfill my obligation to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That hudur inside your heart is intention. If you want to vocalize it, say it with your mouth, it's recommended, no problem. So ولو قصد الوقوف في أول الوقت مثلا, let's say he made an intention and somehow he got this hyperbolic irfani attack, Arafat, ma'rifah, connection with God, remembering the dhikr of God. And then once he said, I'm staying on the plains of Arafat for Hajj al-Tamattu, wujuban qurbat Allah ta'ala, or Hajj al-Islam, and oopsie daisy, knocked down. He got a hyperbolic irfani shock, or shock and awe kind of thing, you say. And so there are people I've seen that they get like really in a very kind of different state. Now, people they have this strong connection with Allah, and sensitivity towards these kind of things. So they might feel in reality some type of feeling which is normal. Our Imams, alayhi salatu wasalam, they used to feel, but sometimes you may see acting, but people should not be judgmental, as I said, between people, them and God. But some people, they tell me, oh, these people are acting like Irfani state and this, and Baba, leave them alone. They might be really feeling of those kind of feeling. God knows best. But anyhow, we we do our own Hajj and leave the people in their hal. They maybe they have their way of connecting with God. God knows best yeah, in expressing those feelings. Yes. So he got knocked down, or he had not slept the whole 2, 3 days. And here, once he made the intention and knocked down and woke up at the time of Maghrib. So the whole time he was sleeping, the whole time he was present there, but he slept the whole time. So is it okay? He said if he made an intention, finish, khalas, he's now staying there in Arafat. So he says that it is required in the stay in Arafat to be out of intention. And if you made an intention from if from the beginning of the time, like time of noon, Salat al-Dhuhr time, that's the time, Dhuhr till sunset. After making intention, slept or got knocked down, a hyperbolic attack or something like that, it would be sufficient. So he slept from or got knocked down from the beginning of the time till the end of the time, from Dhuhr till sunset. And once it was done, he regained his consciousness. His shock went away. ولو نام أو غشي عليه في جميع الوقت غير مسبوق بالقصد لم يتحقق منه الوقوف. They arrive in Arafat, or they're going to arrive in Arafat. They got out of the bus and out of the feeling of the awe, knocked down. He did not make intention or slept. So there was no intention in the heart. There was no that presence of the intention in the heart. So what will happen here? The stay will be invalid. I mean, the stay he did not fulfill the stay. لم يتحقق منه الوقوف. The stay was not fulfilled because though he was in Arafat, the whole time he slept or got knocked down from Dhuhr till sunset. But there was no yeah ولو نام أو غشي عليه في جميع الوقت غير مسبوق بالقصد. There's no intention made prior to his sleeping or being knocked down the entire time. لم يتحقق منه الوقوف. The stay will not be fulfilled. He did not stay. وإن كان مسبوقا به ففيه إشكال. However, if the intention was before that I'm going to stay in Arafat, not on the noon time, he made intention before. He had an intention. Obviously, he's coming to Hajj, he has planned. So as you know that if you, in the holy month of Ramadan, you can make the intention of every day you are going to fast in the holy month of Ramadan before even the holy month of Ramadan. So in some of the ibadat, that kind of intention, that preemptive intention is okay. But here, Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah has a problem in this kind of intention before the time. Before the time, what was his intention? Obviously, inside his heart, I'm going to fulfill my obligations of Hajj, and one of them is stay in Arafat. So even if there was prior intention there before the time, okay, but he slept the whole time without intention, without making intention on the time. في أول الوقت, on the time. So he has problem here. So in this case, obligatory precaution, it would not be sufficient. That means refer to some other marja who consider prior intention sufficient. Ruling number 368. He says it is obligatory to stay in Arafat on the 9th Dhul Hajj, covering the time from the beginning, from the noon time, the time of Salat al-Dhuhr, on the basis of obligatory precaution until the sun sets. That's the common time. We say noon till sunset. But Sayyidi Sistani says obligatory precaution from the noon time. So whenever you have a precaution and there's no fatwa before it or after it, then it is obligatory precaution. But there's fatwa after it. Wal adhar, however, most apparent, that means there's dalilun zahir, there's qawlun zahir or qawlun adhar. There's apparent and there's most apparent. So apparent says that you should not delay at any cost. But Sayyidi Sistani says, no, most apparently you can delay it from Zawal. How much delay? How much delay I can delay being in Arafat? He says the time that is required to perform the ghusl and Salat al-Dhuhr wal-Asr together. That means you do the ghusl, Salat al-Dhuhr, Salat al-Asr, that time after you do the Salat al-Asr, Dhuhr and Asr combined. There, even the other Muslims, they also combine Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr. So, jama'an, combined. So, if you are going to do ghusl, which is musta'ab on the day of Arafat, in the time of Dhuhr, okay, and then you are going to pray Dhuhr and Asr, you can make the intention after Salat al-Asr. So just for this, just for ghusl, Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr, you can delay the intention. And you can start the intention after. This is an exceptional case because he said on the basis of obligatory precaution, the noon time, adhan al-Dhuhr, before that time, you need to be in Arafat, even a few minutes before Dhuhr time, enter the border of Arafat. If you do not arrive in your destination, that's fine. But in Arafat, you have to be in Arafat. And then he says the stay in the entire time. So there's a pillar. Remember, pillar is part of the noon till sunset. And there's this obligation. So obligation is from noon till sunset. But the pillar portion which secures your Hajj is a small portion. Okay? In general, it is said that you stayed in Arafat. So he says, وَالْوُقُوفُ فِي تَمَامِ هَذَا الْوَقْتِ, the entire time from noon till sunset, though it is obligatory. But if part of the wuquf was left intentionally, deliberately, optionally, then that person will be a sinner because of doing a sinful act for delaying coming to Arafat or leaving before the Maghrib time. So this is why, because you are a sinner, but you have fulfilled your stay in Arafat. But that guy did not stay from the noon till sunset. Yes, that is wajib. He violated wajib. but does not invalidate the Hajj because he was there for a certain amount of time. So that's what he says bil jumla. That means in general, he was there certain amount of time. والوقوف في تمام هذا الوقت, staying entire time, even though uh, it is wajib, uh, a person would be considered sinner if he abandons the stay entire time. Okay, stay from the noon till sunset, optionally, deliberately, intentionally, then you'll be a sinner. However, it is not the pillar, the whole stay. What does it mean, Sayyidina? It's not essential pillar of the Hajj, pillars of Hajj, Rukn al-Hajj. Uh, he says, bima'na, he says, which means that if someone abandons the stay in Arafat, uh, part of this time from noon till sunset, his Hajj will not be invalid. Therefore, if he abandons the stay in Arafat from the noon till the sunset, the entire time, optionally, intentionally, deliberately, kiss your Hajj goodbye. His Hajj will be invalid. Why, Sayyidina? Because it's the pillar, it's essential part of the Hajj. So, what does that mean? He says, because what the pillar or the essential part of Hajj is to stay in Arafat a certain amount of time, not necessary from the noon till sunset. Noon till sunset is wajib. If you don't fulfill that entire time, you're considered a sinner. However, deliberately. But your Hajj will be okay. Ruling number 369. So if you recall our previous session, we said waqf ikhtiyari, the primary stay, and the secondary stay. So waqf ikhtiyari is from noon till sunset. And waqf idtirari, secondary stay, is a portion of Arafat, a portion at night, eve. So if you miss until the, remember, if you come 1 hour before the sunset, you did the pillar or not? Yes. But if you intentionally you came late, you'll be a sinner. If you, for certain reason, you came late, you'll not be a sinner, but you have fulfilled your stay. But what if I arrive after the sunset? Totally, the primary stay was gone. He says that in that case, so he says, whoever was not able to fulfill the primary stay in Arafat, that means from the noon till sunset, the daytime, out of forgetfulness, out of unawareness, that kind of unawareness, that he is pardoned, okay, like unintentional unawareness, or any of these two, or any other than these two reasons, like forgetfulness or unintentional unawareness. Then, and he arrived Maghrib time, then he needs to fulfill the secondary stay. لزمه الوقوف الاضطراري فيه. And what is that saying there? That is to stay in Arafat part of the night of Eid, like eve of Eid, like eve of 10th Dhul Hajj, because this he missed the 9th Dhul Hajj, now he arrives at night. So if he does that, his Hajj will be valid. However, if he abandons this, even this night, intentionally, deliberately, so his Hajj will be invalid because he missed Arafat. But but this is like Arafat is connected with Muzdalifah. Okay. So his Hajj will be invalid if he misses his secondary stay. But there's a condition of invalidation of Hajj. That is if he misses the Muzdalifah as well. Okay? The next stay is Muzdalifah. And we said in the school of Ahlul Bayt, Muzdalifah is more essential than Arafat. So let's say he missed Arafat, but he was able to perform Muzdalifah. So his Hajj will not be invalid. So he said that if he deliberately, intentionally misses even the secondary stay in Arafat, which is the night of Eid, then his Hajj will be invalid. That is, if he was not able to. And this, yeah. So that if he was, if his Hajj will be valid, if he was able to fulfill the stay in Muzdalifah. So he says هذا إذا أمكنه إدراك الوقوف الاضطراري على وجه لا يفوت معه الوقوف بالمشعر قبل طلوع الشمس. That means he was able to fulfill the secondary stay at night in a way that it will not cause him to miss out the stay in Muzdalifah before the sunrise. So that means if the secondary stay in Arafat should not be a cause for him to miss the wuquf in Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah must be fulfilled. So if he does not, if he misses the Arafat and misses the Muzdalifah as well, خلاص finish. هذا إذا أمكنه إدراك الوقوف الاضطراري على وجه لا يفوت معه الوقوف. So his Hajj will be valid by fulfilling the secondary stay in Arafat at night if it does not causes him to miss out the stay in the Mash'ar, which is Muzdalifah, before the sunrise. So this is a condition that Muzdalifah needs to be fulfilled with that secondary stay of Arafat. وأما مع خوف فوته في الوقت المذكور بسبب ذلك فيجب الاقتصار على الوقوف بالمشعر مزدلفة. مشعر من مزدلفة ويصح حجه. So he says, if there was a fear, remember I told you this, Muzdalifah is more essential in the school of Ahlul Bayt. Okay? So however, if he feared that he came late in Maghrib time, and as I said, the traffic goes like inch by inch. Okay, the they go very slow. So if he is going to arrive in Arafat at night, and he's going to spend some time there, time in Jumla, not necessarily the whole night. However, if he leaves in Arafat, he arrived like in Arafat, let's say close to midnight, which happens many times. So close to midnight because of the traffic. Now, if he is going to get off, he can do the intention in the bus as well, because the Arafat, when you leave Arafat and you're going to Mina, Muzdalifah comes in the way as we showed you in the map. So even if he's in the bus, he can make the intention. But what if they leave Arafat at midnight and they arrive close to Muzdalifah, close to, not in Muzdalifah, before sunrise of the day of Eid? After sunrise of the day of Eid, they arrive in Muzdalifah's border. They enter before they enter the Muzdalifah border of Muzdalifah, the sun was risen. So in this case, there'll be a problem in their Hajj. Okay, unless if the secondary stay in Muzdalifah was sufficient to say the Sistani Damadulu, we'll see. So here, that we are going to discuss in the stay in Muzdalifah. So he says, if he had fear that he will miss the stay in Muzdalifah because of the stay of Arafat in eve of Eid, eve of 10th Dhul Hajj, then he should not do Arafat. Go straight to Muzdalifah, okay? Then so that if that was the cause that he would miss out the stay in Muzdalifah until the sunrise, before until the sun rises, yes, then it would be obligatory upon that person to suffice by staying in Muzdalifah, and his Hajj will be valid. No Arafat, that's fine. As long as he gets Muzdalifah, his Hajj would be okay. Later, I have made a chart of both Muzdalifah and Arafat, primary stay, secondary stay, primary stay, secondary stay. Inshallah, we're going to go through that. But at this point, we have two rulings left. Let's try to complete these two rulings. So ruling number 370. So obviously, when we said that the time of stay in Arafat is from Dhuhr till sunset, that means you are not supposed to leave Arafat before sunset, knowingly, intentionally. So he says it is prohibited to leave Arafat, okay, towards Muzdalifah, obviously. قبل غروب الشمس عالما عامدا, before the sun sets, intentionally, deliberately. However, the Hajj will be valid. Why? Because the pillar, the essential part of the stay in Arafat, that means sometime was fulfilled. Sometime the stay for some time was fulfilled. So let's say he left Arafat, okay? But then he comes back quickly, like he left for Muzdalifah, and in the middle, his conscience triggered. Oh, you are here for Allah and this and that, and you are going to violate, you are doing ibadah, and you are doing going against your ibadah. So he came back. فَإِذَا رَجَعَ إِلَى عَرَفَاتٍ, after he left, he came back, then there is no problem. Okay? So this is leaving Arafat before Maghrib. But is it costly? Oh, I know it's haram, but is it going to people, they think dunya, they don't think akhirat, they don't think Allah. Okay, but tell me, is it going to be costly if I leave Arafat? What do you mean by costly? Like, is there penalty, kafara, because I left Arafat earlier before the sunset? He said, yes, there is. And it's not a simple kafara, there's a camel. Okay. So he said that if he does not come back to Arafat before this, to fulfill the before sunset thing, he would pay the penalty of kafara on the camel. He will slaughter a camel on the day of Arafat. I mean, sorry, on the day of sacrifice, 10th Dhul Hajj. That means next day. On the basis of obligatory precaution, it needs to be in Mina, okay, and not in Makkah. So obviously the sacrifice needs to be in Mina. فَإِن لَمْ يَتَمَكَّنْ مِنْهَا. What if I don't have money for camel? The camel is like maybe between $5,000 to $10,000. My whole Hajj is like $10,000. So, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have left Arafat. You should have learned the rulings of these, what is essential and what is not essential, and what is wajib and not what is not wajib. So it is wajib upon you to stay until Maghrib. You violated the wajib, then you have to pay the kafara. You did it intentionally, deliberately. Okay? So intentionally, deliberately, you leave before Maghrib a camel. It will cost you a camel. When will you slaughter it? On the day of Eid. And this rule applies to who? Like you can ask Sayyidina, What about if somebody forgot and left, or out of unawareness with the ruling? Okay, he left Arafat. He didn't know. He saw like some monkey do, monkey see, monkey do. He saw some people leaving Arafat. Oh, let me also leave Arafat. But it's not sunset. That's fine. It must be time to leave Arafat. Okay. So he says that the rule will apply for the rule of leaving Arafat before Maghrib, before sunset, will intentionally, the rule of intentionally, it's a sin. Here, if he leaves Arafat out of forgetfulness or out of unawareness about the ruling, then it is obligatory upon him to return after he becomes aware. So he's calling somebody, I left earlier today. It's earlier. Why earlier? What earlier? He's calling somebody. He said, you're supposed to say Maghrib. Oh, no. Or the one who forgot. He remembered, oh, no. So kind of thing. So he comes back, then he will not be a sinner because after awareness, otherwise, after awareness, if he continues, does not come back, then to come back in a time that you can receive the stay, but if you come back, it will already the night have fallen. Then that doesn't make any sense because you're not going to get your Maghrib time. So we are saying that you left, but when you come back, still you can fulfill your stay. ويجري هذا الحكم في من أفاض نسيانا أو جهلا, out of forgetfulness or out of unawareness about the حكم. So it would be obligatory upon him to return after being aware or after remembering. However, if he does not return, then as a recommended precaution, there will be a penalty. The thing recommended precaution because he has forgotten or he was unaware about the ruling. So, and finally, the last question is a very hot topic, hot question, and very crucial question about the the moon sighting issue. And the fiqh of Ahl Sunnah is a bit different than the fiqh is one like moon sighting, the a month enters. However, the application depending on the witnesses. School of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam are a bit tough in fulfilling the testimonies. Okay? Like we have some tough rules in Salat Jama'ah. You cannot pray behind any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay? No, you need to know that the guy is decent. Okay, decent doesn't mean that he's wearing a tie or a bow tie or something like that. No, decent means his moral or apparently. God knows if he's inside between him and God, there are problems. It's not your business. If you don't know and you doubt, maybe inside. No. But apparently he's decent, he's nice, moral, and he knows the Qiraat and he knows a few rule. These are tough conditions. Okay. Then you can pray Jamaat behind him. Somebody knows his qiraat is messed up or his wudu is messed up and he leaves the Jamaat namaz. In school of Ahl al-Bayt, no. In school of companion, even if somebody was evil, you can pray behind him. So the school of companions, they used to pray behind the tyrants, murderers of the innocent people and their khalifas. They used to pray behind them. But in the school of Ahl al-Bayt, no, it doesn't work like that. Unless if there was a fear uh, of not joining Jamaat and you may be judged or attacked or whatever, then that's something else. But if there was no fear, then yeah. Um, I think we missed a line. We said that if a person in, yeah, we missed a line, ruling number 370. Obligatory precaution, the slaughtering should be in Mina, not in Mecca. This line, because this is derived from the Quran. If a person was not able to slaughter camel, uh, he should fast 18 days, okay, in Mecca, or in his way back to hometown, or in his hometown. 18 days. And it's recommended precaution that they should be one after another, like not leaving gap. 18 days, one after another. It's recommended precaution. Yeah, this is this segment we forgot. Then we said that this rule will be applied on those, that means rule of someone who forgot, or someone rule of someone who was deliberate, intentional, will be applied on the someone who was unaware about the ruling or he forgot. Then he has to come back, and if he realizes or if he remembers. If he does not, then it's recommended precaution to pay penalty. Recommended precaution. Yeah. Now we go to ruling number 371. So moon sighting issue. So we know that even testimony of moon sighting, school of companion, they're a little bit easier. We are a bit tough in moon sighting. We need to have proper just witnesses. We need to verify the testimony, investigate the testimony. However, in this many of the countries in the school of companion, they just have flexibility there, and that flexibility is not accepted. So it's an application level, we have a bit strict rules because it's obligation. In school of Ahl al-Bayt, the obligation is something you need to make sure that with the best of your capacity that you have done it right. School of Companion, they have different way. Not every, I know some of the School of Companion are as the Shias, as the followers of Ahlul Bayt, in scrutinizing their investigation about the applications of moon sighting and those. But some of the countries, they are very simple and very flexible and very easy. Any two witness comes, if they are Muslim, khalas, they are just. So that causes a problem for the school of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Let's say in Makkah, I mean, yeah, the authorities there, they announced the entrance of Dhul Hajj, first Dhul Hajj. Obviously, ninth Dhul Hajj, you need to make sure that it is really ninth Dhul Hajj based on the moon sighting or astronomical indications or whatever, that the moon was there in the horizon of Makkah in a sightable condition, but due to the rain or mountain or whatever, was not seen. So, or if you're following Sayyid al-Khou'i, Quddus al-Sirru, then if in United States it was proven, for example, and they because Makkah and Medina, they share nights in most of the regions of United States. So if the United States, they sighted the moon, or somewhere wherever there is a sharing of the night, so that would be okay. So it depends on your marja taqlid. If you're following, say, the Sistani Damodullah, then the moon needs to be there. So what if the moon was not sighted? That's what this ruling is talking about. Okay, so we have two types of mukhalafa. Okay, going against the moon sighting, against the day of the Eid. You go against them. Uh, One is mukhalafa yaqiniya, and one is mukhalafa muhtamala. One is for sure there's no chance at all for moon sighting. That is yaqeen. That means the ninth Dhul Hajj there is actually, for school of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, it is 8th Dhul Hajj. 8th Dhul Hajj, there is no wuquf and it's a pillar. So what should a person do? Some scholars, they say taqiyya, fear, if you cannot go there on 9th Dhul Hajj, because many times the authorities, they don't allow you to come. They tell you to go to Muzdalifah, don't stay here. You might get into problem. So there's a fear. So some scholars, they say, if there was a case of taqiyya, case of fear of being hurt or something like that, then you just do it on the 8th Dhul Hajj. And inshallah, Allah will accept. Like you don't pray on the muhr, you don't pray on the turba, on the clay, if you are in a surrounding, but your salat will be valid. So here I need to just point out the issue of taqiyya. Taqiyya was done by Ammar ibn Yasir, and it's mentioned in the Quran. And Hisqeel, the relative of Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, also did taqiyya in front of Fir'aun. So taqiyya is not something which is like people, the ignorant people, the unaware people, they splash Shias who are afraid, because you stop threatening the Shias, okay? They will not do taqiyya. So, and Imam Abu Hanifa did taqiyya. There's many Sunni scholars, they do taqiyya. When they come to United States and they're asked certain questions, they do taqiyya there. Okay? So therefore, many Sunnis who are in fear, they don't disclose themselves and their positions and whatever might cause them harm. So taqiyya is an intellectual way out of it's a defense mechanism. Many Sunni school of thought they also do it, but when it comes to Shia, they say they are hypocrite. Baba, hypocrite is opposite. Hypocrite, you hide the disbelief and show the faith. Taqiyya is opposite. Taqiyya is you hide the faith. That means you have faith in your heart and you show otherwise. So anyhow, so some scholar, the taqiyya has two segments. If you violate any conditions or essentials due to the taqiyya, then kiss your salah, kiss your hajj or fast, whatever, wherever you taqiyya, goodbye. Like breaking the fast before the entrance of the time. Okay. So in that case, or on the day of Eid, which is not the day of Eid, so it's holy month of Ramadan, and but if there was a case, if they find you not breaking the fast, okay, the day of Eid, they invite you and you are just sitting. So therefore, in that case, if you might get into trouble, then you just eat, but there will be no penalty because it was out of fear. So should I need to do qada? Yes, you need to do qada. Okay, because the whole fast was gone, but you will not have penalty, you will not have kafara. So taqiyya are two types. One which makes you go against the conditions, or the essential, it's rukun. If it was rukun pillar, then you need to redo. If it befalls, taqiyya befalls on obligations which are not essential or not conditions, then you will be okay. Like for example, praying on the clay is obligatory, wajib. But in taqiyya circumstances, if you don't pray on the turba, salat will be okay. Because it's not essential. It is obligatory, but not essential in a way that it invalidates the salat. If out of unawareness or out of necessity, you're not able to pray on the turba, on the clay. So these are the two types of taqiyya. Here comes the debate between the fuqaha, and we have spectrum of opinions. Some scholars, they said no, it needs to be on 9th Dhul Hajj. It's essential. You miss it, kiss your Hajj goodbye. Okay? Some scholars were so tough. You need to make sure that you are on 9th Dhul Hajj and not 8th Dhul Hajj. That's number one. Taqiyatan you did, kiss your Hajj goodbye. Okay? If you did it out of fear, you're not able to go to Arafat, khalas, it's no Hajj. That's some scholars. The second group of scholars say the Sistani Damadullah. Same, but here say the Sistani Damadullah plugs it with Ihtiyat wajib. His reluctance, he is hesitant. Should I apply taqiyya on it? That taqiyya that the Hajj will be okay? Or should I apply the taqiyya of the like missing out the pillar? Okay, or because you did on 8th Dhul Hajj, that means 9th Dhul Hajj, you celebrated Eid. So you did not fulfill your stay, essential part, rukun. So how can your Hajj be okay? So Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah, he says obligatory precaution, redo the Hajj unless you refer to another marja. So in this case, most or all of the followers of Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah refer to another marja in this. Okay, now let's see another marja who allow and who consider it will be sufficient. Group of Maraja, they say no, taqiyya applies here. Though it's essential, but it applies here, so your Hajj will be correct. Fourth group of scholars, they don't focus on taqiyya. They focus more on Islamic unity and Islamic appearance in Muslim community together, being together. So like followers of Sayyid al-Khamenei or all those who are similar to the fatwa of Sayyid al-Khamenei in Iran, they say that for the sake of Islamic unity and oneness, you can do your Arafat on 8th Dhul Hajj, even if it's not going to be valid, they consider it valid. It's on the day of 8th Dhul Hajj. It's okay. So there are ulamas, it's a spectrum of this ara. Okay. Some say no, 8th Dhul Hajj, it's rukun. No, it will not be full. Your stay would not be fulfilled of Arafat. Other will stay, like say this is an obligatory, that means it leaves you some room to refer to. So we used to refer to Sayyid Muhammad Sa'id al-Hakim, al-Tabatabai, who used to apply, Ayatollah Nasir Makarim also applies taqiyya upon this type of scenario. And you have this certain scholars, a group of scholars, including Sayyid al-Khamenei and others, that they say you don't have to have taqiyya case. Just be with Muslims and do the Hajj with them, and that would be sufficient. So everyone follows here their marja, and they're all respected. And they have angles of understanding the essence of Islamic laws. So it's not, I can't say he's right and he's wrong, and no, this is not our department. Yes, if you are studying Bahth Kharij and you are a mujtahid, then you can give your evidence or the evidence of your marja who criticized the other marja, and that can be the area of, but in this public platforms, it holds no meaning to discuss details of the opinions and use the critics against each opinion. So let's conclude this ruling. We know now that there is optional, there is primary stay, there is secondary stay. We know that moon needs to be sighted, and you not sighted, you need to be aware or sure about the day of Arafat will be the day, will be the actual day based on the moon sighting issues or based on the existence of the moon in the sky. However, it was not sighted due to the reasons of there is kind of for Sayyid al-Khou'i, because of the unity of the night. So if in United States is proven is sufficient, it would be easier for Sayyid al-Khou'i followers to perform, because he does not have this horizon, variety of the horizon. He has unity of the horizon. That means the whole night, wherever the countries they share one night, it's horizon for them. Okay. So he said, uh, certain manasik al-Hajj, certain rituals of Hajj or obligations of Hajj, such as stay in Arafat, stay in Muzdalifah, pelting the stones, and staying in Mina, sleeping in Mina, or sleepover in Mina. These are time time connected obligations. Okay, time bound obligations. That means Arafat noon to sunset, Muzdalifah until sunrise, Mina 2 nights, eve of 11th and eve of 12th, we have to stay. And pelting the stone, it needs to be on 10th Hajj, the big pillar of Shaitan, at 11th and 12th. All the other things can be manageable second day, second day, second day, except for the Arafat. Okay, Muzdalifah can be managed second day because as you will see, Muzdalifah and Mina, they are border is connected. So and just come this side of the border next day. Next day at night, because you know Muzdalifah is essential for School of Ahlul Bayt. So just come this side of the border. In fact, there are tents of Mina out of Mina in the area of Muzdalifah. Come that area and make an intention next day, and you'll Muzdalifah is to easily achieve. So go with the Qawm Arafat, okay, and go to Muzdalifah and Mina. And next day, once you're in Mina, don't sacrifice. Just come in Muzdalifah that night until sunrise. Then go and pelt the big shaitan. And you can do it. The only part where the authorities are standing in Arafat and they don't let you many times stay in Arafat. Once you are there, these are the Rawafid, Shias. Some of them they will say. So now still things are changing and the openness of the mind is there, but still you might see some of those ignorant and narrow-minded people are there who don't understand that these are all fiqh issues. There can be khilaf. But anyhow, we give them the benefit of doubt, everybody, and just say that they are not aware about other madhahib and other faith groups. So therefore, Arafat is the most difficult part. But the good news is Muzdalifah is sufficient in the school of Ahlul Bayt if Arafat was not achievable. Okay, so you go to Muzdalifah. Next day, that means you travel with the people, but don't slaughter, don't pelt the shaitan, do nothing. Just stay in Mina, enjoy the time, and at night scoop yourself in the border of Muzdalifah and just stay the whole night there. And you can collect the stone even 1 week before. It's not that night you have to collect, but it was mustahab to collect the stones from Muzdalifah, but not obligatory. But we are going to discuss that later. So yes, he says that these are timely obligations. That mean time-bounded obligations. So these are like specific days and specific nights of the month of Dhul Hajj. So the responsibility of the responsibility of a responsible person is to make sure about the moon sighting, okay, of this month of Dhul Hajj. So he needs to make sure, um, have confirmation there about the moon sighting of the month of Dhul Hajj, so that he can perform these rituals of Hajj in its specific proper time. Okay, Sayyidina, what if the authorities, they announce and we had impossibility, or we have possibility, but there was no declaration, nothing. So he says, وَإِذَا ثَبَتَ الْهِلَالُ عِنْدَ قَاضِي الدِّيَارِ الْمُقَدَّسَةِ, if the moon was confirmed with the judge of the holy lands, and based on that judgment, uh, yeah. So based on that confirmation of moon sighting with them, he judged that this is the day of Arafat, and this is the day of Muzdalifah, and this is the night of Mina, night of 11th. So this is the 9th Hajj, this is the 10th Hajj, this is the 11th Hajj, this is the 12th Hajj. These 4 days, they're all, your journey of Manasik al-Hajj is all connected with time. So now he says some of the scholars فقد قال بعض الفقهاء بحجية حكمه في حق من يحتمل مطابقة الواقع. Like Sayyid al-Khuy Quddus, you don't have to have certainty. If there is a probability that their moon sighting was okay, it is sufficient. So he says, قال بعض الفقهاء, like Sayyid al-Khuy Quddus, some of the great scholars, like jurists, they said that their ruling, their judgment of the day of these days would be okay, would be applicable to those who have the probability that it might be the day of first Dhul Hajj, because the first Dhul Hajj is proven, 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th, these 4 days are proven. So if there was a probability, mild probability, like 20%, 30%, that what they declared, their declaration was according to the probable, like Sayyid al-Khuy Quddus Sirruh. So if their declaration was according to our probability of the moon sighting, then in reality, then it would be sufficient. So then Sayyidina, what is the responsibility? So he must follow up, okay, about the moon sighting issue and base his rituals and manasik based uh, on the moon sighting, on the confirmation of the moon sighting. For all these timely connected obligations. فإذا فعل ذلك حكم بصحة حجه. So if he does that, then his Hajj will be correct, okay, like Sayyid al-Khu'i. Otherwise, it would be judged, it will be invalid. Hajj, the whole Hajj will become invalid because you did not stay in Arafat 9th al-Hajj. You did not stay in Muzdalifah in eve of 10th of the Hajj. You did not arrive in Mina 10th of the Hajj. You did not stay in Mina eve of 11th and eve of 12th, and you did not pelt the stone. Yes, like the 10th Dhul Hajj stone, you did not pelt. And 11th, you're supposed to pelt 3 pillars, and you pelted only one, the big one. So therefore, فإذا فعل ذلك, this is some scholars, there's not a ruling of Sayyid Sistani in this line, which I said. That was, he's saying, قال بعض الفقهاء, like Sayyid al-Khuy Quddus Sirruh. Rather, some of them, they said, now this opposite opinion, بل قال قد قال بعضهم بالاجتزاء. However, or rather, so whereas there's one scholar, they like one opinion which says that if there's a probability of the moon sighting, it should be okay, probability that it was sighted, not yaqeen. So what about other scholars? There was ruling like Sayyid al-Khuy and those who have the rulings of Sayyid al-Khuy. بل قد قال بعضهم بالاجتزاء بمتابعة حكمه حتى فيما لم يحتمل مطابقة الواقع في خصوص. This is like the group of Taqiyya or the group of Islamic Unity. They said that it is sufficient. Some of the fuqaha scholars, jurists they said it would be sufficient to follow the rule of the judge of the Holy Lands. Okay, they declared final. بالاجتزاء بحكمه. So some other scholars, they said the ruling would be sufficient as long as there is no حتى فيما, oh no, even if there was no confirmation that there is a probability, like Sayyid al-Khuy, there's a probability that it may be according to the reality, okay? Sayyid al-Khuy says, if there was a probability, if it was according to the real moon, confirmation of existence of moon, then only. But if you know yaqeenan, it is impossible for the moon to be sighted for Sayyid al-Khuy followers, then you can't suffice with the Hajj. this Hajj will be invalid. So therefore, for Sayyid al-Khouyi, if there are two types of going against. One is yaqeen, al-ikhtilaf al-yaqini. So there's impossible that the moon was not even in the horizon where Sayyid al-Khouyi allows. So then the Hajj will be invalid. But if there was a probability that in the farthest regions like Canada or South America or North America, there was a confirmation of moon sighting, then in that case, you have a probability that Makkah might be inclusive, okay? If you don't have the map and access and the whole, so there's a probability. So in that case, the Hajj will be okay. These other scholars, they say, no, even if you had confirmation that it is against the reality, okay? بالاجتزاء بمتابعة حتى فيما لم يحتمل مطابقة الوحي. حتى if there was no probability that it would be in line or aligned with the reality, especially the cases of taqiyya, the fear which would apply if someone goes against the uh, the rulings of the authority. So he says, for me, Sayyid al-Khoui's opinion and other opinion, all these opinions, if there's no confirmation, are all problematic. That means obligatory precaution, kiss your Hajj goodbye. So he says, both of these opinions, be it probable sighting, okay, somewhere on the earth for Sayyid al-Khoui followers, or certainly there was no sighting, or the issue of taqiyya is okay. No, it's not okay for me on the basis of obligatory precaution. Islamic unity, no, it's not sufficient for me. So in this case, Sayyid SISTANI Damadullah has obligatory precaution. The Hajj would not suffice until you confirm that the moon was in your sky in a way it can be sighted, or it was there, the moon was sighted, and you have a proper confirmation. So what about if I can't perform the Hajj in those slots? We said Arafat would be problem, but Muzdalifah is not a big deal. He says, وَعَلَى هَذَا, based on this, فَإِن تَيَسَّرَ لِلْمُكَلَّفِ, if the responsible person can perform the Hajj in its specific times, okay, uh, based on the methods of moon sighting. So if it was confirmed, so if a responsible person are able to fulfill the rituals of Hajj specifically on the methods of moon sighting, confirmation of the moon through the proper methods. Yeah, according to Sayyidi Sistani, الطرق المقررة لثبوت الهلال. وعلى هذا, based on that, having said that, if it was feasible for a responsible person to fulfill the A'mal of Hajj in its specific time frames, based on whatever is required, whatever is a proper methodology of moon sighting, okay, then أتى بها وصح حجه مطلقا. He would perform it if there was confirmation through the proper resources for confirming the moon sighting. Then, almost apparently, his Hajj will be okay. وَإِن لَمْ يَأْتِ بِهَا وَلَوْ تَعَذَّرَ, and if he does not, so he says, وَأَتَى بِهَا صَحَّ حَجُّ عَلَى الْأَظْهَارِ مُطْلَقًا عَلَى الْأَظْهَارِ. Absolutely, obviously, if you have the confirmation of the moon sighting, then obviously, in any cases, the Hajj will be correct. Like in Arafat, Muzdalifah, Mina, all this. Why? Because the moon was there according to the methodology, scientific methodology, for example, astronomical declaration. But I did not have any confirmation. Yeah, so وأتى بها صح حجه مطلقا. In any case, the Hajj will be صحيح على الأظهر, most apparently. Uh, However, if he doesn't perform it the way it is performed by the date line, okay, لم يأتي بها كذلك. He did not perform it or fulfill it the way he was supposed to. يعني the مكلف, the sentence is like وأتى بها صح حجه مطلقا على الأظهر وإن لم يأتي بها كذلك. If he was not able to fulfill these obligations due to an excuse, and he abandoned the declaration, or he neglected or ignored the declaration of the judge of the Holy Lands in both wuquf, then his Hajj will be invalid. Okay. If he follows the declaration, his Hajj will be problematic. So refer to some other mujtahid on the basis of obligatory precaution. Yeah, so this was the last line of the wuquf in Arafat. Let me just sum up this last line, because the sentence was like based on that. So conclusion was, if the responsible person, فَإِن تَيَسَّرَ لِلْمُكَلَّفِ, if the responsible person was able to fulfill the manasik of Hajj in a specific time frame required, based on the confirmation of the moon sighting, and if performed his amal according to it, in all the cases, his Hajj will be valid. What if he did not fulfill it due to an excuse here? So if he abandoned, and if he did not perform those amal, timely bounded amal, and even out of an excuse, if he abandoned the declaration of the judge in the stay in Arafat and stay in Muzdalifah, so his Hajj will be invalid. However, if he follows the declaration, here's the problem. Declaration of the judge. If you don't follow the declaration of the judge, kiss your Hajj goodbye. If you follow the declaration of the Hajj, then on the basis of obligatory precaution, kiss your Hajj goodbye, repeat it next time. But you have to have all the conditions, like the capacity of coming back for Hajj the next year. Yeah. وأما مع اتباعه ففي صحة حج إشكال. However, as for the following the declaration of the judge, the Hajj will be problematic. So he's not saying invalid, he's saying one leg here, one leg here. So you can refer to the spectrum of Maraja who allow you to fulfill your obligations, timely bounded obligations, by the declaration of the judge of the Holy Lands. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.